Know how to set up Oregon? Well, this is the video for you. I'm going to be taking you through every basic site setup on Oregon. If you enjoy the video, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out. There's also timestamps below in case you just want to see a particular site. Let's get into it. Okay, let's start off with kids and games room. First walls you want to reinforce is 1, 2. You want to do 3, 4, 5, 6. While you're here, you also want to open this hatch. And some people do open the other hatch here, so people, when roaming, can get around easier. A rotate wants to be made here. Some people do reinforce this wall, but others also make feet holes like this. Depends how you really want to play it. In lower ranks, I would say just reinforce. Higher ranks, keep it open. Okay, this wall, you want a line of sight along here. Some people also choose to make a rotation here. It's up to you if you're going to have someone actively playing on top white or not. However, if there's a rotation here, be aware that from double window, people can see it. Okay. This is where it gets confusing. Some people choose to do feet holes here and reinforce this wall. This is good when you are playing in back kids' dorms, because then you can watch the jump in like this and you can't be seen from the double window. Other people choose to reinforce here and then make a rotate next to it. Personally, I don't think this is the best way to play, because then you could just like jump in double window, you know, and someone would have to be playing around Hobo. You also should open kids' dorm hatch, because then you can watch from below people walking into kitchen. Some other holes you want to make in the floor, some here, and you can watch into green hall there. You want to put some here between the wall and the games table. This is default plant spot. And some people also put them here, so people can watch if someone tries to go through the rotate. Common default spots for shields are here and here. Another spot is also in trophy room here. Operators for this site include Smoke, Jaeger, Wamai, Rooney. It's pretty much fluid. I would just say make sure you have 1 or 2 shields and definitely an anti-projectile operator. Let's move on down to laundry and supply room. When defending laundry and supply room, the first 3 reinforcements need to go on all the hatches. You've got 1, main lobby. 2, in security. This is the freezer hatch. And then your last hatch is in meeting room. This takes you down into electrical box. You want to reinforce the right wall of electrical and then make line of sight holes here next to it. You want to make high holes in this solo wall. This allows you to play inside and contest the back stairs, helping out your player that will be playing pillar. In freezer, you want to do the same as electrical. You want to reinforce the wall. And then you want to make line of sight holes facing into freezer. This is so someone can play on this wall or play in highway and swing freezer when the player inside of freezer is getting attacked. You want to make a default rotation here in laundry. And you also want to make a rotate into blue. Shield positions for this in sight is you want 1 in blue. And you want to have 2 or 3 ADSs or Wamai gadgets in blue. You then also want to reinforce the wall on the other side of the rotate. Cubby can be played in different ways. Mostly you see this wall being reinforced and line of sights on the other side, allowing you to also place a mirror if you want. When playing mirror on this site, there's 3 different positions you can place a mirror. First, in the cubby to watch onto laundry. Second is freezer wall to watch into freezer. And the third goes on electrical wall to watch into blue. Depending on where the opponents are coming from should depend where you put your mirrors. You can check this by looking at default cams at the beginning of rounds and seeing which camera has been shot out. Operators on this site should be At least someone with a shield, probably a smoke to hold in blue elbow. You want a mute to stop them pesky Flores drones. You definitely want a Jaeger on Y to help protect that shield in blue elbow. And you probably want a Cade. Cade is so OP. For the hatch, you can put it here. And then you can also protect this wall. Because the idea is, when the shield gets destroyed, you then want to reinforce this wall off. And deny the attackers from breaching it. On this site, you don't even need to roam. You just want to protect the common entry points. Next site is kitchen and dining hall. The kitchen and dining hall, you want to reinforce 1, 2, make a rotate into bathroom, reinforce 3, and feet holes along the other wall. You can also make a rotate here, but then I suggest you have someone playing security hall /90 to stop people just walking up freezer stairs and down white. You also want to make a rotate from security into site and reinforce the back 2 site walls as well. Some people do reinforce this wall. It depends if you're playing security hard to hold it. If you are playing in security, open the hatch. Trust me, it'll help you drop back if you get pressured. You also want to open the hatch and have high holes here. These high holes allow you as smoke to throw smokes from the back of the site. You can also see from the hatch all the way down here to the breach where people are going to be breaching. As a shotgun operator, I also do suggest shooting open the holes here. This means a player can't thermite trick the wall and will have to come into this side of the wall to place the thermite charge down. That then means they're susceptible to being shot through the floor or a C4. Other holes to make are here, under the window to watch the jump in, and you can also make the holes further along here to be able to watch the jump in from down here in this corner, which is relatively safe. You just have to be aware of other people pushing into tower. Common shield spots in here include one in freezer, and another common spot is to put one at 90, protected by ADSs. If you look at default cams at the beginning of the round and realise that they've spawned construction site, then rotating utility can be really important, especially to put wall denial on this wall and place a shield towards green hall. Common operators to this site include Frost to protect upper small tower, Wamai, Maestro, Goyo, and then a shield operator like Smoke is probably best. You also want to have an anti-projectile operator. This is the angle I was on about before. People think they can plant safe just inside the breach, but in reality, see all the way to here. And look, the angle is pretty much one way. There's no way you can see it until you're about here. The last site to go to is meeting hall and kitchen. In ranked, you see less of this site played, however, in competitive play it's played all the time. Reinforcements on this site should be 1 and 2, 3, 4. You also want to go into attic, reinforce the hatch. That's number 5, 6 and 7. You can make a rotate for roamers upstairs to help them out. You should also make feet holes here and reinforce this wall. This is to aid the defenders playing top floor and stop the window jumping. You also want to open the hatch to allow the defenders to drop down. Similarly to before, you want to make a rotate into security, but then you want to reinforce this wall. And you also want to reinforce here. Make a rotate into meeting to allow fluid movement between the sites. The last reinforcements want to go 1 and 2. A highly picked operator on this site is Castle. This is because it will allow you to castle this double door to protect you from main entrance. It also allows you to castle the upstairs windows. Remember, you can also make holes below to watch the windows and help your defenders upstairs. Common shield spots on this site include on the rotate and facing towards kitchen. Depending on where the opponents are coming from, they could also be coming from green hall. When defending, you want to anchor from in the back of kitchen the right side is split, and potentially even playing around these sandbags, as attackers will then have to clear you. However, be careful because there is a drone hole here, which you can be naded through. And, you know, nades go bye-bye. You should have this hatch open in meeting room to drop back if you decide to play aggro onto the breach. Good operators for this site include Goyo for time wasting, Mute to stop people breaching this wall, and the wall above. You should also think about bringing a Cade instead of a Mute, or as well as, because you can also defend these two single walls which people like to breach when they're coming from main entrance. Other operators should be Wamai, Jaeger, Aruni, anyone really that you feel is necessary. Thunderbird could be a good shout too. But make sure you get healed up to full. Now guys, that is how you defend Oregon. If this video helped you out, please consider subscribing, as that then really helps me out. Appreciate all of you that have stuck around to this time, and I hope you win your next rank game. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!